It's so weird.
There we go. We're live.
No, we're in Ad Wonderland.
Let's see.
Not even yet.
It says we got 9 people waiting.
See, look, it says nobody's watching.
Yeah, I don't know why
There it goes.
there's that much of a delay, I guess. All right, we've got Mama Bear,
There's
Mind and
Michigan
Body
Daphne.
Co., Brett Heath, Scrappy Cat, Tinker's Wife, Alfred Miriam, My Crooked Little Homestead, Tinker's Wife, Michigan Daffodil. That's who we've got chimed in so far. Hello and welcome.
Time to go grab stuff.
There's Dawn and all the things Acres and Miss Lippy. Welcome everybody. What the heck? It's showing we went from 14 to 6. Oh no, and we're having internet connectivity issues.
Oh man, are you plugged in?
Yeah, that didn't happen at all last week.
Oh boy.
Okay, I think it may have been just a little fluke. I know our internet has been doing much better. Now I'm talking about the Wi-Fi here at home,
Yeah.
which is not AT&T. Nunny, Texas, welcome.
No, we talked about that this morning. It was great too. We had some internet questions, and we're able to message our internet provider through Facebook Messenger and get a direct answer within a few minutes.
Because he's just a regular guy, not a big corporation.
Right.
Where to begin? Welcome. So let's see. If you're new here, we normally spend the first about 15 minutes just with pleasantries and saying hello and all that jazz.
How's the weather?
Tonight's topic was going to be the fact that Abby just turned 18 yesterday. Happy birthday, Abby. She's around here somewhere. But with the cell outage that we experienced today, I wanted to talk about that tonight instead. I mean, we can still say happy birthday to Abby. Speak of the devil.
Come on. Wiggle your way in here.
So Abby is now 18, so that means our responsibilities are over. We are done.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Just
You
kidding.
wish.
It's a weird.
Now we can give
it's
you
weird.
the vote.
It's weird to think about though.
I've tried. You won't let me.
18 and can vote. Yes. And I asked her
she was actually kind of
I asked
bummed.
her about registering to vote, and she said she already did that. She did it early.
Yeah, we did it before she turned 18. But
Dream on, right? Hey, there's Kiri, built on the rock.
she was kind of upset because we had some voting on some amendments. Like December 10th, which was 4 days before her birthday, so she wasn't able to vote on that. But she'll get the next one.
Can you see that? Everybody's giving you love.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
She made her own birthday cake yesterday, or day before yesterday, because she doesn't trust anybody else to make it. She's the baker. I mean, that's just how we do.
You don't want me to make it. And didn't you get a birthday cake at work too?
Yeah, that what we were thinking.
Oh, you can go on with that yawning stuff.
I know. Bye. I do have to actually go shower, so. Thank you
Oh,
for
is
all
that
the
what
birthday
the smell
wishes.
was?
As if.
You so loud. Probably smelling yourself.
I did a video on my channel about how I haul water for the winter. Oh.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds fun. We have
No, it doesn't sound fun.
well,
it sounds like
fun to watch.
Oh yeah. I'll do the canning with the brake bleeders.
We add.
I added moisture absorbers, not oxygen absorbers. There's no need for the oxygen absorbers because you're literally removing all the air from the jar.
Not all of it, but quite a bit of it. There's Canadian. In that Mama Bear, in that video, in the description, there's links to the brake bleeder, the moisture absorbers, and the jar attachment. So, what else we got going on? I'm trying to give us time before we get into the really meaty topic here. I guess we don't have to.
How's the weather?
Weather. That's what I was going to talk about first. Yesterday we had some nasty storms come through.
We woke up at about 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I was up a little bit before that. I heard it. I heard the rain and stuff hitting on the wall, and I was just kind of laying in bed listening to it. And of course, like the moment I decided to get up and go to the bathroom, Abby's banging on the, not banging, but knocking on the bedroom door. She freaked out with the weather. So
Hackett's welcome.
her and the dog went and sat in the hallway to wait for us to get up.
Well, that's been our, like, I guess, tornado drill. Our contingency plan for bad weather. If it gets really bad, the hallway is probably the best place in our house.
Yeah.
That we kind of hunker down and be safe.
Well, we went through, I think it was 3 tornado warnings here. At one of them,
I had to drive through one of them.
Yeah.
To go to work.
I want to say it was the very last one. I was standing at the window, kind of watching the weather come in, and saw the circulation over the trees, and just hauled butt back to the hallway and said a prayer.
Patty says 50 tornadoes reported.
There was what, 21
in Louisiana from what I saw.
21 tornadoes within 24 hours in the state of Louisiana. Yeah. It was a pretty scary experience, but we prayed our way through it, and we made it through.
I'm trying to.
So it was me, Abby, and the dog hunkered down in the hallway.
Nah.
Oh, that number was for the entire region.
Good,
wow.
Yes. We did hear from like Patty and Mac.
I checked in on
Lippy. A lot of community members that we, did go through.
Lippy said coffee refill. Be right back.
The storms went through their areas. We did hear from them to know that they're okay. Cassandra Sandoval. Good to. Yes, yeah. I can't. Words are not working for me right now, but yes, thank you very much.
Abby went out with her sister yesterday for her birthday. So.
Oh, okay. I tried.
Close enough. Wow, that's bad when people understand your level of stupid. Yeah, that was pretty nerve-wracking. We normally get like heavy winds and things like that. I heard a little bit of hail. I have checked. The solar panels are not cracked, so they look good.
Oh, we can give that update real quick.
Oh yeah.
So the solar panels, the whole system, the solar panels, the batteries, all the various boxes on the walls that I don't understand. That was all installed back on November 8th and 9th.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've been waiting since then for things to get activated so that we can use the solar system. And after 5 weeks of hearing nothing.
No, after 5 weeks of hearing, we're waiting on an inspector.
We're waiting on an inspector. Nothing yet. No updates. We finally decided to make a call. Hey, Joe.
They used smoke signals today during the outage. Is that why I smelled smoked meat?
Adrian said he had his soup cans and string ready. Oh, there's Patty from Southern Blessed. Solar system. Oh, we decided to make a phone call and check with the parish, because in Louisiana we have parishes, not counties, same thing. So we made the phone call to see what we could find out on the inspection. Well, it turns out we're not waiting on an inspection. The day of installation, when the inspector came out, and he did both inspections, whatever needed to be done, whatever, he did it all at once. So
instead of making 2 trips.
So the permit has been at the parish office, the police jury office. Prepper Book Club, Wendy Benjamin, hello and welcome. And the lady at the police jury office had sent the permit to Entergy, who is our electricity provider. But something happened in Entergy's portal where they didn't receive it. So that's what happened. So all this time we've been waiting for really no reason, and we're kind of irritated. I'm kind of irritated. She's flat out irate, or she was, with our solar company for not doing these checks and us ending up having to do them to find out what the heck's going on.
Yeah. I was not aggravated that it didn't get done. I was aggravated that nobody even bothered to check on it.
That was the whole thing. You know, she would
5 weeks went by, and I've messaged every week on either Monday or Tuesday, and kept getting the runaround basically. Oh, I'll check on it. I'll let you know. I'll get back to you. You know, still waiting on the inspector. Well, come to find out, we're not waiting on an inspector, and everything was already done. If somebody would have made a phone call, a simple phone call, that could have been finished that day.
The likely excuse, I would agree, but the lady at the police jury office had proof that she attempted to send it. She just didn't realize that it didn't send. So it was actually,
she had a confirmation that it sent.
It was just a breakdown. I'm not blaming anyone except for the solar company for not following up and actually checking on things before just saying, well, no updates, you know, that kind of thing. It's just, that's what's upsetting. I agree with you. Good evening, Grammy Karen. Good to see you. I think we're to the point where we're ready to talk about the AT&T outage. I think we're there. So this morning, I got home from work because I work 24-hour shifts that I'm on duty at the firehouse for 24 hours. So the cat is just going nuts over there, playing with something. Anyway.
No, that's the whole thing.
It's just really distracting for me.
She's not playing with anything. She's playing with herself. I think she's chasing the bottom of the couch.
It's aliens. She's looking at something.
There might be a mosquito or a fly. Now she was doing that with a fly.
She's convinced something is there, it looks like.
I don't know.
Anyway. It's really distracting for me. Sorry.
So the solar company system had a glitch that stopped it from being received.
No, not the solar company.
This is between the parish.
There's so many people involved here.
And the electric company. That we were waiting on a permit.
Grid electricity.
Yeah. So we were waiting on a permit to be sent, and it was sent, but it didn't go through. There was a connection error.
Hello, Marines and Army Mom.
It said it went through on one end, but the other end didn't receive it. And nobody from the solar company actually followed up after 5 weeks. When the lady at the parish office told us, had they just called, it should have been done in a week. So a week following the install, we could have been moving along. But now we're waiting on Entergy to come reprogram the meter, which should be within the next.
And it shouldn't take long at all. So
it should be within this next week. We may have to call them back and see. I could have mailed it to them faster. I could have brought it to them faster in Texas somewhere.
Canadian. I thought the cat was a distraction. Oh
God.
So this morning, it was just after 9 o'clock, I guess, maybe just before 9 o'clock. The three of us, Amy and I and Abby, we were sitting around I think we had just finished coffee, just kind of chit-chatting. And Abby noticed at the top of her phone, instead of saying 5G or whatever LTE, it said SOS, and there was no bars. So I was like, well, that means you don't have any service. I wonder what's going on. So I looked at mine, Amy looked at hers, and neither of ours had any service either. And I was like, well, that's odd.
My first thought was, did I pay the bill? And then I was thinking I had to have paid the bill because it's auto drafted. It automatically pays. But I got on the computer because our internet is working fine.
Our internet goes through Faster Cajun Networks. That's a local company. Anyway, it doesn't use AT&T.
So I got on the internet and checked, and sure enough, our phone bill was paid. So that wasn't the problem.
So we decided, because we still had access to the internet using our Wi-Fi, we decided to stay here at the house and get on Facebook and try to figure out what was going on. So I posted on my page on Facebook and also in a local group, to ask if anybody else was having issues. And one after another, people were chiming in, saying, I'm in this area. And of course, those were all locals. So I knew
Well, we
the
were
local
hearing
area was affected
a
for
few
sure.
people were saying in the Houston area that there were some issues.
We saw, I can't confirm it, but we saw that Dallas and Houston were also affected. I don't know if that's the case.
No, I did reach out to Rachel, who is in the Dallas area, but they're not with AT&T, and she didn't know of any issues up there.
Oh, you have problems in West Kansas? That's the first I've heard of that area.
Wow.
So I reached out farther. You reached out to Rachel. Did you reach out to Lippy this morning?
No, not about the.
I reached out.
I knew Lippy wasn't on AT&T.
Hey, Tammy. Yeah,
because I remember her telling me about all the trouble that they were having with AT&T, so they switched over.
Yeah. I reached out to Jason at Big Bear Homestead. Jason wasn't having any issues, and they are with AT&T. They're in Northeast Georgia. But
I did reach out to Michigan Daffodil because I wanted some Google searches done and things like that. And it's crazy. I can Google something here and get completely different results that she does Googling the same thing there. I don't know.
Weird.
But there's a lot of times she can find out stuff about our area faster than I can.
So we got online. The AT&T website didn't say anything about an outage anywhere.
No.
But there's an AT&T outage map sponsored by someone else, someone outside of AT&T, and their map there was red spots all over it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I decided to go ahead and make the YouTube video earlier today, just reaching out and asking if anybody else having any issues. Well, from what I gathered from the YouTube video was there was one friend
maybe that's why she gets different results.
Commented on my Facebook post saying that she's in New York and was having issues.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, how far does this go? So that's why I made the video. And it turns out the widespread outage that our local news was telling us was widespread was pretty much localized to our area, but a large area locally.
It was most of the Louisiana state, I believe.
I don't know about that.
Most of the western.
From the information that I have nailed down, it was pretty much around the Sabine area.
Oh, okay.
West Louisiana and East Texas.
Okay.
Right up the line there. That's what I'm gathering. Trouble is, there's a lot of things that rely on the internet nowadays. And by the way, it lasted from about 9 o'clock this morning, and we're in Central Time, from about 9 to 3. So about 6 hours, we were out of cell service. So we just stayed home and stayed on the Wi-Fi. We enabled Wi-Fi calling on our phones so that we were still able to make phone calls after we figured it out.
Lippy, I'm glad you got that figured out.
But it seems that it was pretty localized, the problem. Now, what made it sketchy to me is the first is the potential causes. And I know rumors can fly when information is brand new, but some of these were just like outlandish. The first one that I heard was...
No, I meant, Lippy, I was talking about Dawn's stuff. I've been watching the chat. I'm glad you got that figured out in here.
The first cause that I heard that was the reason for this was someone hit an AT&T tower.
Yeah, these were the rumors that
Well-
were flying around online.
Immediately, my logic kicked in, and I was like, "No, that's not. It can't be." And here's why.
Guys, these towers are usually out in a field somewhere. They're usually away from roads. However, they're fenced off. They're pretty secure. So it would take a lot.
And they also don't cover the area that the outage was in, because we're talking like Lake Charles,
yeah,
Sulphur.
one tower would have
DeRitter.
probably it would have been a small portion of Lake Charles, because Lake Charles has several towers.
There's a quite large area. Somebody said even as far as Manning, which is you're pushing north of Louisiana there.
Yeah.
So that
I got you. Libby.
that
I got you.
that explanation just didn't fly with me, and I immediately called out the person who shared that. I was like, "Look, that doesn't make sense. I don't know about that one." And so I mean, I didn't say you're an idiot or anything like that, because
Well,
that
see,
wasn't the case.
Patty, that's what I thought too. The only way that thing is going to get hit or would get hit would be, the most likely would be an airplane. Well, here's the thing. There was no news articles about it.
Hey, Allison,
To me, if an airplane or even a vehicle
No,
would
that
have
would
crossed
make
those
the news.
fences and hit a tower and knocked it out, like you'd have had to knock it completely
well,
down.
that was another thing that stood out to me. in
That
the
would have
beginning
definitely
was
been on the news.
There was nothing on the news, and when they did finally share something,
Can be seen all over town. It's practically in town.
they shared. Let me see if I can share this screen. You're going to see a lot of my Facebook people, so just be nice.
A lot of your what people?
My Facebook people.
Yeah.
That one. So this is what they shared originally. I need to know if that's what we're seeing, or just want to be sure. Okay, yeah. So this is the map that they shared, and this was 9 hours ago. So like right after, that would have been about 10 o'clock. So about an hour after the outage began, they shared this map. What do you know? What's the first thing you notice about this map? I don't know where the hell that is. Like, there's no landmarks, no town names, no street names, no nothing. Like, oh, here, if you live in this area, well, what is this area? What are you telling me here? You're telling me nothing.
Yeah, it
So-
says there's a widespread outage today.
That's widespread. That's what they told us. So to me,
You can't
like-
even make out the state.
I don't know if you can see my pointer, but like to me, this over here kind of looks like the East Coast up by Washington,
Yeah.
Washington and Oregon.
That's what I thought it
And I was
was.
like, what is that? There's no way that's that zoomed out. So,
Field.
so a friend of mine zoomed
Wait.
out the map.
Anne Marie says, "Wait, I'm late. Can you repeat all that?"
No, I cannot. You rewind. So a friend zoomed out the map,
Louisiana and Texas
and then posted
is
it
that
in the
map.
comments.
No,
and according to this map, they were trying to say that the outage was localized to this little tiny area way south of Lake Charles. Well, we live over here somewhere around this number 10, and we were out. That's a long distance. That's like 40 miles, 40 miles. So everybody was calling BS on this, on the news,
on our
Facebook
local news. Yeah.
comments.
She said, "Oh Lord, when you blew it up, I was like, nope."
No. So, I mean, it was much larger. And then, let's see. I'm going to just let you keep watching me scroll. Then they came out with this one. Oh, AT&T says 2 fiber cables were damaged during recent severe weather, but technicians are working to repair the problem. Well, I had to call bullshit again on that one, because
The
I didn't
severe
lose-
weather ended.
I didn't lose service until about 24 hours after the severe weather. I don't know about that. That
Well,
doesn't make
the
sense to me
severe
either.
weather here ended yesterday around 1 o'clock. It was actually a little bit before 1 o'clock, but all of our severe weather alerts, the tornado watches, the tornado warnings, everything was over by 1 o'clock. And the only reason I know that is because we were still under a tornado watch until 1 p.m. And I remember watching It was about a half an hour before 1. And I was watching one of the weather forecast things, and he said the severe weather threat is done. We're just going to leave the tornado watch in place and let it expire on its own.
So anyway, people in the comments were calling them out on that one too.
Yeah,
Like,
see,
no,
Libby and them lost service with a week of sunny skies and 84 degrees.
In the meantime, people were calling AT&T. People were visiting the AT&T stores and getting conflicting information from AT&T. What am I missing?
It's a time leap outages. It's called the pause outage.
All right, so and that was a big red flag for me too, that the people were getting conflicting information from AT&T. AT&T operators were telling people different.
What are you doing?
I'm scrolling up to another story.
Is there another story?
There are several, yes. So this one, they actually, people stupid. So they actually had to shut down the local AT&T stores because people were going in and threatening the employees there, like they were in control of something.
You can turn the volume off.
No, I'm going to stop that. Okay, so there's that too. And then
they just didn't want to say, "Oops, we screwed something up." Yeah, right.
New information 4 hours ago.
But this is what caused the panic. The outage itself didn't cause as much panic as the news stations coming out with different excuses, basically.
And I can honestly say that I never panicked. It was a mild inconvenience, but I was trying to get to the bottom of it. When something goes wonky like this, number one, I want to know what happened. Number two, I want to know when's it going to be fixed. You know?
The OCD.
So yeah, I like to know what happened.
You better save me some of that.
So
you got cake in the fridge too.
I want one of those.
So when there's conflicting reports on what happened, why it happened, that kind of stuff, then I start trying to dig deeper and figure out, okay, is somebody just spreading a rumor? Is somebody lying? Is it malicious?
Tate's last name, Platinum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Tate is a coworker of mine. He panicked because he sent me a message earlier. He said, I didn't know how much I relied on my phone for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, I said, that's why I stayed home with the Wi-Fi yesterday.
I believe these towers went down while changing over to the new owners of towers. And see, that's something that I'm going to be looking into more so tomorrow. But I think Lippy might be right.
Oh,
some of
I
these
like the
towers are changing ownership, and they're doing some upgrades and things like that too. So that could have added to the length of time that it was out. That may not have been what caused it.
I just love how Grammy Karen just put that. She says, just a glimpse of what it will be like when the shizzy hits the fizzy.
I want to see her say that.
Oh, that's all.
Like,
that's
that
awesome.
would be great.
But you know, this outage today, just on the heels, 1 week ago, there was an attack on the power grid in North Carolina. People are just recovering from that.
Right.
And now this, and I didn't know how expansive, or I mean, it turned out to be pretty localized, but I didn't know how big this outage was.
Well, there was several different outages in different places for different reasons. But you guys got to realize, if you go back on the Weather Channel and things and look at this massive storm that hit, it's a spiral that covered like a huge area of the United States. Now, up north, they got snow. Everybody in the south got kind of like in the middle, they got like a wintry mix of rain and stuff like that. But we got rain, and I call it caca weather because it was tornado, wind, and when the debit machines go down at Walmart, right?
Well, we heard reports of ATMs.
The ATMs were not working, and so the banks were not allowing people to withdraw cash.
So for, like I said, for us, it was a mild inconvenience.
Brett, turn off your computer visual.
Okay.
I think you're still sharing the screen.
I am, and give me just 1 second. Like I said, for us, it was just a mild inconvenience. But for this friend of mine, it was more than that, because she says, as someone who has AT&T for cellular and home Wi-Fi, now that it's back, this was right at 3 o'clock when it came back on. No, I'm not going to read those words, because those are probably buzzwords that make the platform get rid of me. But I had zero contact to the outside world for the last 6 hours. She was completely blacklisted from the world.
Poor Lippy. Poor Brett had a Lippy moment. Lippy said that.
You hush. Anyway.
Exactly. It'll be when the EBT card stop working. Well, not only at Wally World, it's going to be everywhere. It's yeah.
And then there's this one. I mentioned the map that we looked at. They had us like raising an eyebrow and going, "Whoa, how big is this?" This is the one we looked at. I don't know if I can zoom that in any without making it weird. Oh, no, go over that way. Okay. See, we're down here right in this red area.
The big red blob at the bottom.
So, but there's red everywhere, like all over the place. It looks like the freaking nation has chicken pox.
Problem we were having with this is we don't know how long ago this map was updated.
Right. So we look at this and we're going, "Whoa, how big is this?"
Yeah.
And then, like, Sulphur is a town near us. Well, let me go up here.
Oh, Heirloom Permaculture said we've got a high of 19 coming next week. Yeah, a high. Wait.
See, that's what I was saying, Canadian. Something seems bigger, because we're looking at this says Sulphur. This says outages reported in Sulphur, which is near us, Baton Rouge, which is on the other side of the state, Lake Charles, which is right here, Westlake, also right here, DeRidder, a little bit north. I'm not sure where Laplace is. Yeah, that's French, Laplace, because we say things how we want to in Louisiana. Leesville, New Iberia, those are all near. Fort Polk is near.
Oh, I'm not liking this.
Iowa. What? 21. Oh, shoot.
A high of 36.
Yeah, that's not ideal. We're gonna have to start repping some
That
pipes.
low says 21.
Yeah.
My bones hurt just looking at them numbers.
Anyway, that's where we're at. Our grid is fragile. I mean, it's just how it is.
Did the Russians take out a satellite? Read the one that you found out what the cause was.
Oh, that's the one I had open that y'all told me to close. Lippy.
That wasn't Lippy, that was Patty.
Patty.
You fussing at the wrong woman.
Okay. So I'll share this one.
You
more.
can keep that snow, Canadian.
Oh, that's
Rogers up here.
that one.
A couple months back had a Canadian-wide outage. I think Rogers was hacked, and I think AT&T was hacked. See, and that's what we were kind of wondering, because there were so many people saying so many different things all at one time, and it was weird how you'd read something and it said, well, I just called AT&T and they told me this. Well, the next comment was, I just got off the phone with AT&T and they told me this. And those two stories were completely different.
All right. So it says this was updated. I don't know what it said before. I don't remember. So this was updated 3 hours ago. This was after the return of service. Cellular and internet service has been restored in Southwest Louisiana after two damaged AT&T fiber cables were repaired. This is the official story of what happened. Numerous AT&T customers reported cell phone, phone is landlines, and internet issues today. AT&T cell users saw an SOS symbol where the 5G symbol is normally. AT&T said Thursday morning, that's this morning, that their original story said, AT&T said that 2 fiber cables were damaged during recent severe weather, but Thursday afternoon they corrected that with updated information. And that's where I was like, the weather didn't cause this, people. Come on now. But that was AT&T's first official story. And then they updated their story and says 1 cable was pulled down by a passing truck and the other cut by a contractor digging in the area. Now I've experienced contractors digging and breaking fiber optic cables. But I have a question for you. When have you ever, maybe I'm missing something, but have you ever seen fiber optic cables not underground?
I've never seen
Am
them
I just
run
missing
on
something?
poles.
How can a truck pull down a fiber optic cable? Is that a thing? Am I missing something?
Libby said I called for
Hey,
7
Heritage
days
Farms.
and got got different answers each day. I was waiting to hear all workers went on strike. Wow.
I think all fiber optics is underground. That's all I've ever seen.
Yeah, see, that's what Libby said. It's all underground. You're right. Fiber optics are underground. That's what I was thinking when he read that out loud to me on the front porch a few hours ago after it came out. He said one was pulled down by a passing truck, and I was thinking.
So then, was the truck underground, lower than the cable?
Not here. They'd be swimming.
I mean, so this to me, this story doesn't hold water either, unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, see, our fiber cables are underground at the house, but aerial down the streets.
Really? Are they above ground in some places?
I see them. That's what they're working on down the service road right now. Is they're putting in fiber optic cables for Brightspeed.
All the ones that I've seen are underground in orange tubes.
Yep, that's what they're doing down the service road.
Yeah, Heritage Farm says it's all underground.
Fiber optic near us is above ground in some areas.
Huh. Well, maybe I missed it. Marshmallow Man. Oh, they're underground, all underground in Canada. All underground. My husband worked for a gas line company. They're all underground, even in rural areas. Ours are in ground. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I know there's.
I'm not trying to say I know everything for sure.
Coax lines on the poles here for cable internet because Suddenlink, it's Optimum now. They have some that are run down the telephone poles, but those are like coax lines.
Oh, it's showing me a weak signal again. Can you guys see me okay?
But it just said some do run in the air.
Huh.
I did not know that.
Did not know.
I thought all the fiber optics were run underground and the coax lines and stuff were running up in the air. I saw it being done underground mostly, but a few above. It's not normal to be above ground, but some small areas above. Huh. Patty said, no, can't see you.
Uh-oh. Other people said, picture up, hard to see. Oh, well, okay. Just give me a minute. Be patient, Miss Lippy.
That's not Lippy. That's Patty.
Lippy says, you got that picture up, hard to see, y'all. I was talking about the signal. I'm sharing this on purpose.
Fiber optic,
so this
phone, cable, and internet are usually all underground unless covering an area unable to go underground. That makes sense.
See, this was one cut occurred when a cable was pulled down by a passing truck. I mean, I guess y'all are saying some are above ground.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like a swamp, maybe. That's possible.
KPLC, which is this news station out of Lake Charles, was without internet. AT&T office, the parking lot at the AT&T office was temporarily blocked. I'm sorry, that's the AT&T store. Blocked by authorities. The manager in the store said too many people coming in to complain. According to the manager, casinos and banks were also being affected by the outage, and it's not just cell service issue. Hospitals. See, this is all what's affected when there's an outage, guys. This is why I had this up.
I'm on my phone and you are tiny.
Hospitals. Let's see. Representatives with Memorial said their internet and phone lines are still functional. That's good.
Somebody said their phone lines were working, kinda, but she said it sounded like a drunk person on the other end of the
So
line.
it looks like the hospitals had some contingency plans in place.
Mhm.
City and emergency response. This is the big one, and this
Was
is
it a Russian truck?
Tate. If you're still here, you can let me know how things went at the firehouse today. Several law enforcement agencies, including Calcasieu Sheriff's Office and Beauregard Sheriff's Office, were also experiencing phone troubles. So said you can still contact 911. So 911, the 911 service was still available. But I can tell you from personal knowledge that the CAD, which is computer aided dispatch, the CAD systems do use the internet. So if they were to go down, then we would have some serious issues with communication between the person with the emergency, to the dispatcher, to the responders. We would have some issues. What am I missing?
Lippy said Boudreaux done got drunk and let Thibodeau drive. It took her that long to put it in there, probably because she had to spell it. Have you seen Lippy? I call it Lippanese. She's got her own language between her and the spell check.
Yeah, the
landlines didn't work, and half our radios didn't work. That's Tate.
Wow, the radios didn't work either. Oh shoot.
Only half. So the other half were okay.
So the landlines and cell phones, actually, the chiefs and assistant chiefs all have their cell phones that they use for duty, plus their own personal ones.
Oh, they get their own phone?
They get cell phones because the chiefs they are mobile. They move around. It doesn't make sense for them to have landlines.
You need to be a chief.
What else we got here? I'm kind of skimming. This looks like the rest of this is ads. Okay, the ads.
Close that off before they have a fit, because they're on their phones and they can't see us.
Okay. All right. Okay. Here you go. Here you go.
Now you can look at Brett, because I ran away.
I've got a great face for radio. I'm just saying. So yeah, so some other things that we heard or saw on Facebook and just by talking to people. Okay, I'm gonna let Amy do this, and while I go refill my coffee cup.
Well, so give me a second so I can be with you to talk about it. I didn't say I wanted to do it all. Y'all, I heard him. It's coming. Anne-Marie said, Amy, come back.
They get sick of looking at me fast.
Full screen now. No, one of the things that I did read on social media, one of the schools, one of the parishes released a bunch of schools.
They released students because of a water main break.
They dismissed students early in a small town. There's several schools within that area, but they were picking up storm damage and, like, I guess cleaning up, and some of their equipment hit a water main, so they had to release all the kids from school and dismiss them early. The problem was they were having trouble getting in touch with the parents to let them know what was going on. They couldn't keep the kids in school because there was no water. There was no water to drink. There was no water to flush toilets. You know, water is a kind of a needed issue. A needed, words.
Hello, Cat Mac. That's what we're talking about. It turned out to be it turns out that it was more local than what we were afraid it was. So Western Louisiana, Eastern Far East Texas was kind of affected by AT&T or an AT&T outage today. Yes, that's what we're talking about. So you got the school, police, firemen, and EMS. We talked about that. Business and banks, debit card transactions. If
Yeah, the internet was down at some places because AT&T
hey
was
Sharon,
AT&T supplies a lot of the Lake Charles area with not only cell service, they do internet service and landline services. A lot in the Lake Charles area. They're one of the bigger providers, I should say. So there was places that couldn't use debit cards or credit cards or any kind of electronic transactions due to the fact that they didn't have service. So the machines wouldn't allow it to happen.
oh, D has Patriot Mobile, but AT&T Wi-Fi has been out all day. Now, I do know that at least two other providers, Cricket and FirstNet. FirstNet is one specifically for first responders. Both of those piggyback off of AT&T. They use AT&T's services, so they were all out too.
Boost Mobile went out in North Lake Charles after the AT&T outage was done.
Oh, I did. I forgot something I forgot to mention earlier. Crystal Strong was a fellow YouTuber. I forget what her channel name is now. She's changed it. Sorry, Crystal. She lives in
Suck as a friend.
She lives in Texas. I want to say around Houston, and she said that her T-Mobile was out, and the root of that cause was in Minneapolis. So that was another one of those things that I was just like, all this stuff, this information was coming in, and I was just trying to make sense of it all, and to see how big of a problem we were dealing with, if it was like a hack or what.
Yeah, that's another thing. Guys, keep cash in your home. Keep cash on hand. That's one thing we learned after the storms. When the power goes down, the stores can't take electronic transactions. No power, no internet. They can't do it. It's not physically able to do it. Some stores have people that know how to run the register on just cash without the machine telling you how to give change back.
Now consider this: they're trying to do away with cash. Then we'll all be
stores here after the hurricane.
Like
there was a few that were taking cash only. I know some of our small supermarkets. My dad worked at a local market basket, and him and my mom actually went in to the market basket and helped run registers so that people could buy groceries. And part of their plan with it was, instead of the groceries just sitting there with no coolers, and going bad, they were allowing people to come in, buy what they needed, and that way it would be used. It wasn't going to sit there and just rot because their freezers were out, their coolers were out.
In lots of places, there is no protocol for cash.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, more and more, it's like a forgotten art. People don't practice with cash. I was a cashier. Well, the cashiering was part of my job when I worked at Walmart and Kroger and Market Basket 20 plus years ago. And so I learned how to count change, like the least number of coins for the most amount of change. You know what I mean?
No, these people weren't even using registers. They were using handheld calculators, and they were writing everything down on paper. The transactions were happening on paper, and they had several people writing out handwritten receipts.
I wonder if we need more coins versus paper. I would say that would be a good idea, because coins, well, they can't burn. It would take a very high temperature for them to be destroyed. They're much less likely to be affected by weather and that kind of stuff. And plus, they're heavier. They're heavier. That's a downside. So if you're carrying those around, I saw, I think it was Mama Bear said, Pinball said to buy junk silver. I did start buying some junk silver. I have a very small collection, but if you don't know what junk silver is, it's not fine silver. It's like older quarters, like pre 1964, I think it is,
Yeah, I think you're right.
or proofs, which are mostly silver. You can go to a coin shop to get those. Or sometimes, if you're
See,
lucky,
that's awesome.
you can find junk silver at a pawn shop. Not so much anymore because it's in much higher demand than it used
Built
to
on the Rock says my feed store still has old school technology for paying. They also let people get supplies on old school credit, all by hand, so we can still get animal feed with no electricity. That's awesome.
There's Cajun milk cows. Good to see you guys. I was in the Air Force in 1989, living in Monterey, California, where Fort Ord. What was that? The Oh, you got all these names that's hard to read. The
Okay.
Loma Prieta earthquake took out the power, and none of the gas stations had generators to pump gas. 3 days. Wow.
See, and that's probably the smartest thing I've seen Canadians say. I can read this one out loud. If the shift goes, if the shift goes down long enough, they'll figure out how to take cash.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They may not know, but they're gonna figure it out. Pre-silver, yeah, is before 1965. So yeah.
I knew. Okay, I was close. I knew it was somewhere around there. And you can hear the difference too. If you drop a quarter, a modern quarter versus a silver quarter. The silver quarter's got a high pitched ping to it that catches you in the back of your ear. I've grabbed a couple of those from just random change, just by hearing that sound.
Thanks for coming in, Cassandra. I don't know. I had to buy a lot of things to make up the difference.
Since we're talking about
a lot of people don't know how to make change without a register telling them how to do it. Silver and gold have value, but when clean water and food are better. Exactly. But if you have a little bit of extra money to spend and you have all your food supplies, you're pretty well stocked. It doesn't hurt to have a secondary backup. I try to keep some cash on hand because, we do live in Louisiana and we do have hurricanes here. So, I mean, we stay pretty much stocked up. We're kind of used to the power outages and the craziness. So we stay pretty stocked up on food through the year. We do rotate our food as we go. But what are you looking for?
I seem to have hid it from myself. The junk silver.
I have no idea.
The box.
Okay, come back over here because I have no idea. I'll have to go look. It will be right in front of your face and you won't see it. Like the ketchup bottle. Cash and smaller bills along with the change helps to. You're right. Yeah, make sure that you have enough food before you start buying silver and I don't want to say crazy things, but those are not necessities because you cannot eat a coin. I mean, I guess you could, but it might hurt in and out.
Patty, you're about to get banned.
Exactly. Being born here teaches us at a young age to be prepared. Yeah. My kids might not be too keen on self-sufficiency and, they've lived it. They're ready to get out on their own and in the real world. But I can rest assured knowing that no matter where they are, if they have to roll after an emergency and survive, they know what to do. They know how to get it done.
But they, at the very least, they know how to survive enough until they can get to me or someone else knowledgeable, so they can find help.
Mama Bear, you are so right. Can't find anything you're looking for unless it's food.
That's because I don't live here. I live at the firehouse. I live at the firehouse for 1/3 of my life. That's you have 33% more more likelihood of finding things here. Did you find it?
Right by your foot.
Oh, I knew you could do it. I had faith in you all along. How do you hide something from a millennial? Oh, I think I know this one, but I want you to tell it. I don't want to take your joke. Okay, well, nobody's gonna be on camera for a second.
Oh,
I gotta
Lord.
y'all just don't. Y'all can auction off my stuff like you do for Sean.
It's not your stuff.
Oh, see, I told you I don't leave here. It's just this is all a facade.
You don't own the Christmas decorations.
All right. Tell me if you can hear the difference. Wait, at first in an emergency, it will be so different. And if the emergency continues, who really knows what will help? I know skill and love and water and food. Let's see, for at least 14 days following Hurricane Laura 2 years ago, back in 2020, here in Southwest Louisiana, we had no power. Lake Charles, the entire city, like you could go there at night and it's like you didn't even know you were in the city because there was no lights. It was creepy as heck. But anyway, it was a good while before power was restored. There was just things were just so odd. So it was like SHTF on a local level. It really was. Anyway, let me so you can't see what I'm doing, but listen to the sound. This is a regular quarter. Okay, this is a silver quarter. You hear there's a slight difference. Regular, silver. There's a little bit of a higher ping with the silver, and that's how I was able to identify some of these silver quarters in just regular change. And if I'm not mistaken, if I remember right, 4 of the silver quarters equals the silver spot price. So I think last I checked, it was about $19. So four silver quarters is about $19 instead of $1. It's not a big deal, but as the silver spot price changes and the cost of the actual value of a paper dollar changes, you're going to end up with silver is going to hold its value, is what I'm saying. Oh, is it up to 26 now? Let me look. Silver. Let's get the right now price. It looks like $23.39 right now at the moment. So yeah. So since I've gotten some of that junk silver, the cost of it or the value of it has increased. And definitely not something you're going to get rich off of, but pre-1982 pennies, the value of the copper in a pre-1982 penny is around 3 cents. Now, I'm not telling you to go melt down pennies. That's not it. But I've put together a nice little collection of pre-1982 pennies just to hold on to. Who knows? Some of those maybe.
I should have kept my wheat pennies because somebody online was buying them the other day.
Oh yeah, I forgot I sold those off. I traded off some wheat pennies. Wheat pennies. Those are the really older pennies with the wheat on the back. Anyway, I traded some of those for this silver. They had fees. Yeah, you're right. You're right. There is some fees for buying it from a reputable collector. They round up or down to the nickel. Okay. Yeah, in 1982, see, some 1982 pennies are still the copper alloy, or the greater copper alloy, and some are more zinc because they changed it over in 1982. And everything since 1982, all the pennies are more zinc than copper. I don't know if they even use any copper in the pennies anymore. Silver pennies, a mistake from the mint. Wow, interesting. Now I know in I think it was 1943 they made a steel penny. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the exact year. I think it's 43. Anyway, it was during the Second World War, and those are valuable. Oh, Patty's heading out. Good night, Patty. Up here in Canada, we don't have pennies anymore. Well, I have some of your pennies. I do have a few, a very small collection of Canadian pennies. Or actually, I don't know if I still have those. I may have traded some of those for the junk silver. Suburban Hillbilly. Nice to see you. It is 1943. Okay, good. Night, Anne Marie. Have a good one. A brick of pure silver. If it's what I think you're talking about, it's probably the 10-ounce silver, 10-ounce bar of silver, and if so, then that's worth 10 times the spot price. So 10 times $23 would be $230. I have a nice crisp $5 bill from 1963, I think it is. It's just a nice. I don't know if it's really worth anything, but I thought it's pretty cool.
It's worth at least $5. A brick size silver from the from 1940s. Wow.
You may want to get that appraised. Where are you? What's your general location, Kat? Because if you're here in Louisiana, I've got a couple places I can recommend that you go to have that appraised.
Pure silver. That's awesome. We have a pretty decent coin collection. I did have some wheat pennies, but he convinced me to go ahead and sell them.
Well, I wanted to trade those for that silver because I knew that was going to be like,
I know,
in an SHTF situation. That's going to be something we can use for purchasing power.
Well, I don't think we're getting rid of any of our
not near Louisiana. Okay, well,
coin
sorry. Can't help you
change. Then. I think we're going to start holding on to it because in the long run, it'll be worth more than, something more. It'll be worth something versus nothing if the dollar goes to crap.
Well, I think it's a matter of time because the dollar has been on a kickstand for a long time.
Mm-hmm. The whole point in this live stream, getting people to realize with the AT&T outage today, one thing that we realized is,
what's going on, Annie George?
Oh, wow. Sorry, got sidetracked. The AT&T outage affects way more than just us playing on our phones. Doctor's appointments, communication between doctor's offices and pharmacies, electronic transactions, delivery services, GPS services, emergency services, So those are things that we need to kind of look towards and prepare for in the future. Have a backup plan, or at least have a meeting point. If something does happen, where can we all meet and, figure out where everybody's going to go. So not everybody's going in 3 different directions.
Right. And, even so simple as like, I'm a firefighter, so fire safety is something that's on the forefront of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, a fire escape plan is something that we probably don't practice enough here at home, but we talk about it.
Yeah.
And like, we know if there is a fire, we've got a place to meet outside or at a neighbor's house or whatever. It's always a good thing to have like a what if, a contingency plan, because you never know what can happen. And it's just much nicer if you've already got this idea in your head. If this happens, this is what I'm going to do. And if you think about it enough, it's even better if you practice it.
Smart.
But if you think about it enough, then chances are those thoughts are just going to kick in automatically if something happens.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to think about it, or it's less that you have to think about.
Tell them, Brett, don't stay in the house if it's on fire.
Obviously.
Michigan Daffodil said buy a calendar for appointments, paper maps, and practice with them. We use a paper calendar for appointments. I'm a visual person. I have to actually see it. But Libby said we have a family map Buddy made a few years back, and we have a meeting spot. That's an awesome idea.
Oh, if you're looking for a paper calendar for 2023, get with Sean in Alaska, SEAN in Alaska, here on YouTube. He posted that he has been taking photos in Alaska of the scenery of what
surrounding his area. Yeah.
And he's putting together a calendar. I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
If you don't know Sean, his channel is awesome too. He's building his own cabin off grid in Alaska.
Get him free from real estate agents. Yeah. When my phone was off today, I realized I don't have a paper calendar for 2023. I normally use my phone calendar. And see, I don't.
He did do a calendar last year too.
Yeah.
So it's not his first rodeo. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, great live fellowship. Time to clean the kitchen. Good
All right,
night, Miss Lippy. Have a great night.
There you go. Thank you, Henry. Mind and Body Co. shared Sean in Alaska's Facebook, YouTube link there in the chat. Appreciate that.
Maybe gold and silver will go up as some sort of components in solar batteries and electronics. That's another thing. They're saying that the cost of lithium is going up.
I imagine it is. Lithium is a finite material.
Yeah.
There's only so much of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how sustainable.
Yeah, catalytic converters are being stolen for the precious metals that are inside
isn't
them.
that crazy? A lot of people get funeral home calendars. That's like a popular thing, apparently.
Mm.
Oh, lithium and helium are finite. Yes. Speaking of shortages, that made me think of shortages. The latest shortage that I've seen at the grocery store is lettuce.
Yeah, there's signs all over now at the grocery stores that lettuce is short, which is weird because lettuce is a cool weather crop.
Oh my goodness. I think I have shared everything that I was intending on sharing concerning the AT&T.
Today, people will steal your teeth if they think they're worth anything, right?
$3.99 for a small head of iceberg lettuce.
It's $3.99 here too. I looked at it the other day.
I had an idea for a video the other day. I just didn't do it yet. But curly dock. Curly dock is a native wild edible here in our area, and you probably have, if you don't live here, you probably have something similar in your area that you can take the young tender leaves and add those to dishes in place of lettuce. Many of the lawn weeds, the things that we've been told to eradicate for years because, oh, this is making your lawn ugly.
Like dandelions.
Like dandelions, like wood sorrel, like milk thistle, or we have the bull thistle here. All these different things, they're edible, and many of them also have medicinal qualities.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that would just starve to death, surrounded by food, not knowing.
Lettuce is being rationed in some areas, and in others it's on sale.
Huh.
I've seen that.
Cajun Milk Cow's asking about our winter garden.
It's getting there. It's
the
slow.
The turnips were a bust.
Well,
we had a frost, and the ducks trampled them when they were very, very young, so that didn't work out.
Yeah, our kale is doing pretty good. The cabbage is growing if I can keep the ducks from eating it.
Broccoli's doing pretty good.
Yeah, we're starting to get little crown starts on the broccoli.
And Swiss chard is doing pretty good.
The Swiss chard is doing great.
Oh, we just finally harvested those sweet potatoes out of that other bed that we've been telling you all about. And let's see, 20 by 4,
24,
a little bit extra. I'd say probably about 84 square feet of garden space worth of sweet potato vines. And it all started out with 6 little plugs. What are they? Slips. Four slips. And we ended up with 4 5-gallon buckets of edible sweet potatoes.
Huge. Some of these things were massive. I'm trying to find some stuff here.
Lettuce can be grown.
Some stuff is crazy right now, especially kids' medicines. Wow. Lettuce can be grown in pots inside your house.
You can eat the ducks in an emergency, yes.
That's one thing I've tried to do is lettuce in the house, but we have UV protectant windows. So I need to put a grow light above them to make sure they're getting the right nutrients.
We have tried to grow lettuce and those types of
the greens.
Cool weather greens outdoors here. But in the wintertime, we either have mild winters or we have like super fluctuating
like
winters.
This year.
So like we get a warm day in the middle of winter and that stuff just bolts like that. It just goes to seed. It gets bitter.
Yeah.
So we stopped even trying any of those. Now the Swiss chard is different. It'll tolerate the warmer weather, and the Malabar spinach does excellent in the summertime.
Yeah. I grow lettuce year round in an arrow garden. I'd love to have one of those, but they are pretty pricey. I have been kind of looking at them and eyeballing them. There's one for, what was it, $200, I think it was.
For what? I'm sorry.
The little arrow garden that I was showing you the other day, it's got 12 little grow spots and stuff on it, and it had the little light and everything above it. And I would almost need something like that, whether it's with water or with soil, it wouldn't matter. But I need something with the grow lights included because of the UV protectant on the windows and stuff. They don't get quite enough of the bright light from the sun that they need. I planted store-bought sweet potatoes that started sprouting, harvested 2.5 5-gallon buckets. That's awesome. I'd love to get one of those arrow gardens. They are pretty neat.
Did you read Henry's comment? Because I know Amy will probably cuss me out later. but golden seal is also really good to use in certain ways. Now, is that the
Is that golden seal or golden rod? Golden seal. I've never heard of golden seal.
I'm not sure what
Didn't
that
even
is.
bring a pen. Hang on. I'll look that up.
Michigan Daffodil says lots of cheaper knockoffs out there on Amazon. Looking into those much cheaper.
Yeah, well, if you find one, let me know. If you find a good one for cheaper, let me know.
Oh, golden seal is echinacea.
Oh,
I didn't realize that. Like Granny Karen helped us out with that one. We had echinacea growing here for a while, and then like it didn't reseed itself, and we didn't put any more in because that garden bed was just slapped.
it didn't
full.
grow back because it was so overwhelmed by everything else. The basil
Well,
and
we ended
stuff
up
took over.
we put mullein and Mexican sunflowers, and we ended up filling the bed with other stuff. And
I put
kind
in
of
2
forgot.
Mexican sunflowers, and
Now they're
everywhere. Yeah,
coming out of our
they've spread on their
ears.
own. So cheaper, not cheap. Yeah.
Night, Mama Bear. Have a great evening.
You can also do microgreens. I have done alfalfa sprouts. Those took a little bit longer. No, it wasn't the alfalfa. Was it? Yes, it was. What was it? Ryegrass was the other one that I did, ryegrass sprouts. But I did those for the chickens and the rabbits. Now the ryegrass takes a little bit longer to get started than the alfalfa, but it's pretty neat to grow in a plastic container and see all the roots and everything. I got all kinds of tinctures of it. Echinacea, yeah. I need to plant some more, but I need to get that bed under that herb garden under control.
Canadian is just a bad influence. Hey, Simply Jan, welcome.
You'll get something from doing that. That's for sure. My goodness, it's really hard to focus with that. Oh man.
Oh,
One of these days, I'm going to get a type of arrow garden because I'd like to have lettuce and greens and things like that growing in here. I even tried green onions in the house, and they struggle because of the windows.
yeah, they just don't get they don't get the full spectrum through the windows.
Right. And don't ask me if I'm going to open the windows because if it's 21 degrees outside, there ain't no way. I can't believe 21. A high of 34 or something?
Yeah, that's not going to be.
That's
good.
bone chilling cold.
And I'm going to be at work that day. Or no,
I don't know.
10 days.
But
10
I'm
days
gonna
from
be
now.
I'm gonna be
I
in
gotta
the
look.
house.
I
For
gotta
sure.
look at that. 'Cause
Don't
I need
plan
to
on me
see-
going outside.
I need to see how soon I need to be wrapping pipes and stuff. Thursday the 22nd. Yeah, that's our next live stream night. Or no. We're gonna be on Wednesday next week because of my work schedule. So by the Tuesday, Wednesday that I'll be off next week, I have to wrap pipes.
It's getting so cold here in Missouri. Yeah, it's getting cold here too. And that's weird for us. We normally don't have this level of cold. November was cold.
I know.
And then December was
frost.
hot.
We got a frost early November, which is not typical for us.
Yeah, I know. That worries me about a whole nother week of. They're talking about snow possibilities. That's one of the days. Look, it's gonna be under freezing and we've got chances of rain. Here
See,
too.
we're not.
That's Saturday. Down
Yeah,
to
but that's
32.
that's touching
Yeah, I know.
freezing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's after 8 o'clock, guys.
Yeah, have a good night,
One
Mama
says
Bear.
23 there. Oh. Next is-
-1.
Oh,
So, oh.
Yikes.
My eyeballs don't want to work.
What are you doing?
I'm checking.
Oh Lord. See, he can't go without his phone.
Oh, bite me.
You want me to?
No, I really don't.
It's 34 this morning, but first day in weeks. No fog, blue sky. Made it warmed up. We had a lot of foggy days. Was it last week? It was warm and muggy.
Oh yeah, it was like before it started getting a little chilly. It was just
Well, this
nasty.
morning, we had that cold front move through yesterday. That's what all the storms and stuff were. It was what 60 something. It was 40. Oh crap! This morning
Today, I don't know how.
it was in the 40s.
Okay.
But the humidity was 90 something percent. Usually when we have a cold front, it knocks that humidity level down.
Yeah,
But because of all the rain yesterday, ugh.
I can't.
The mental pictures that pop up in my head when that stuff comes up there. Oh man. That's great. That one really threw me off.
Oh man.
Oh, on that note, we're gonna have to say goodnight because you have to work in the morning.
So next week, join us on Wednesday night. Hopefully, I'll remember to remind you. Remind me to remind you. Just kidding. Guys, it's been really fun, really good time. I look forward to these Thursday nights some weeks and Wednesday nights some. Anyway, we look forward to these weekly chats. It's really a highlight of my week. I love it. Enjoy your week. Until next week on Wednesday. Good night and God bless.
See you guys next Wednesday. God.